Good day, students. 8th Standard, 2nd Term, Prose, Unit 4. This video has been prepared and presented by Mr. Fleming Harris. The lesson what we are going to see today is My Reminiscence, which has been written by Rabindranath Tagore. What do you mean by reminiscence? Past memories. The Rabindranath's past memories has been discussed and written in this lesson. Each one of us, we will be having a reminiscence. We will be having our own past memories. We are not penning down all those things in any book or in black and white. But our author, Rabindranath Tagore, he has penned down his ideas, his past memories, his experiences, and he is sharing us with the very wonderful experience of him. Before we go into the lesson, let's know something about the author. This is Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was a Bengali poet, author, philosopher, artist and educator. He wrote Gitanjali in the year 1912 and got a Nobel Prize for it. My Reminiscences was written and published before he started on a trip to Europe and America. He wrote for the first time in English for publication. So this is something about Rabindranath Tagore. We have a warm-up session here. They have given you a picture, very beautiful, nice picture. Down the picture they have given you a line, beauty lies in the beholder's eyes. Of course, beauty lies in our own perspective. Each one will be looking at the things in a different way. If I ask you to write something about this picture, you will be describing this picture. You will describe the trees, mountains, waterfalls, water, rocks, etc. When you describe, we use the adjectives. In the warm-up thing also, they are asking you to complete the organized thing using suitable adjectives. See, waterfalls. How is the waterfalls? The waterfalls is elegant waterfalls. How about the trees? The trees are tall, green trees. Mountains, majestic mountains. How about rocks? Smooth and shining. Blue sky, that too clear blue sky. So like this, the perspective of each one will be varying. The beauty will also vary according to our own perspective. So with this piece of thing, let us get into the section. Reading. Listen to the teacher and read this section. When I returned home for the outset of my second voyage to England, my brother Johendra and sister-in-law were living in a riverside villa at Chandernagore, and there I went to stay with them. So Rabindranath Tagore, he is explaining that when he returned home from the outset of his second voyage to England. So after returning from England by sea route, voyage means sea, passing, going or traveling in the waters. He is going and living with his brother who lived in a riverside villa, independent house. Where? At Chandernagore. He was living with his wife. His wife is his sister-in-law. Whose sister-in-law? Rabindranath Tagore's sister-in-law. The Ganges again. Again those ineffable days and nights, languid with joy, sad with longing, attuned to the plaintive babbling of the river along the cool shade of its wooded banks. Very nicely, in a poetic manner, he has just described. The Ganges again the same very old river Ganges. Again those ineffable days and nights. What do you mean by ineffable? See down, it has been scrolling. Beyond expression, too great to be expressed. He could not express those days, that nights and days, what he has spent earlier. Languid, moving slowly with joy, and sad with longing. The river is moving with some sort of longingness, with a little bit of sad with longingness, attuned to the plaintive babbling of the river. That sound, sad sound of the babbling of the river. How does a child talk? The child will be babbling. It will be fumbling to talk. So like that, the motion of the river is making some sort of noise, that is called babbling of the river along the cool shade of its wooded banks. So both the banks of the river Ganges, it was fully surrounded by trees. That's why he has given here wooded banks. Wooded banks means fully surrounded with trees. This Bengal sky full of light. This Bengal sky, it has got full of stars, plenty of stars. This south breeze, the breeze coming from the south direction. This flow of the river, this royal laziness. The kings and the knighthoods and the noble people, what they do after consuming all sorts of delicious food and other things, they just lay down and they enjoy their life, as if this royal river, it is a very royal thing. That river is a very big river in India, as if it is lying lazy. Its broad leisure stretching from horizon to horizon. So one end to the other end, it is like one horizon to the other horizon. What do you mean by that? From green earth to the blue sky, from one part of the world to the other part, like that he is just explaining. All these were to me as food and drink to the hungry and thirst. So the scenery and the things, whatever it has been displayed in front of him, it was like food and drink to the hungry and thirst. If somebody is hungry and thirsty, what they will do? They will be longing for the food. If they are offered some food and drink, they love to eat, they glutton, they swallow it fast. Like that, our author is also just tasting that beauty. He is enjoying that. Here it felt indeed like home. So it was really a wonderful thing, like a home. He was feeling as if he was at home. And in these, I recognized the ministrations of a mother. So in this situation, he is just thinking that how does the mother serve? The act of helping and caring for their children. The mother will be having so much of love to express for her children. So like that, he is enjoying that nature. That was not so long ago, and yet time has wrought many changes. So he has been to that place sometime before only. It was not so long ago, but the time has changed, caused many changes. Wrought means caused. Our little riverside nests, all the small huts and small uh, things clustering under their surrounding greenery. Clustering means forming a group in the greenery. Greenery means what? In the woods near among the trees have been replaced by mills, which now. So all the trees and the small huts, everything has been removed, and it has been replaced by mills. How does the mills look like? They look like dragon like. Everywhere rear their hissing heads, belching forth black smoke. So the mills are hissing. It has been producing hissing heads. Okay, grown up heads. They are belching. They let out air. They leave out air. What type of air? That black smoke. So the entire place has been polluted now. It was very serene, very nice, wonderful earlier, but in a very short span of time, things have changed. In the midday glare of modern life, even our hours of mental siesta have been narrowed down to the lowest limit, and hydra headed unrest has invaded every department of life. Very beautifully, it has been given. In this midday glare of modern life, in this modern era, even our hours of mental siesta means the short nap taken after the lunch. Our mental siesta, we all are being stressed too much, and we skip that mental siesta. We are not taking a short sleep, short break, have been narrowed down to the lowest limit. It has been very much reduced. And hydra headed unrest has invaded every department of life. So, all our life, our department of life, it has been crept with hydra headed unrest. We are not able to take rest. Maybe this for the better, but I, for one, cannot account it wholly to the good. Maybe everything would be for a good thing, but I could not say that. Those lovely days of mine at the riverside passed like so many dedicated lotus blossoms floating down the sacred stream. So that days it has been passed like a lotus blooming and floating on the Ganges. Some rainy afternoons I spent in a veritable fancy, singing away old Vaishnava songs to my own tunes, accompanying myself on a harmonium. Veritable means more exciting. So I used to spend some of the afternoons, that too rainy afternoons, enjoying the nature and singing Vaishnava songs of my own tunes. I used to play harmonium along with that. On other afternoons, we would drift along in a boat. Sometimes we will just take a ferry or a boat and we go into the waters. My brother Johindra accompanying my singing with his violin. So he used to play violin for my songs. And as beginning with the Puravi, we start with the Puravi, we went on varying the mode of our music with the declining day. So we would be just singing until the day gets dawned. We saw on reaching the Behaga, the western sky close the doors of its factory of golden toys, and the moon on the east rise over the fringe of trees. So we will be singing until we see the moon rise in the east for the fringe of trees. So over the trees it will be just rising. So till it becomes dark, we will be just traveling and singing, enjoying the beauty of it. Then we would row back to the landing steps of the villa and seat ourselves on a quilt spread on the terrace facing the river. So after traveling or passing or going through the river, we go and sit. Where do they sit? They sit on a quilt, cushion, sofa like that, which was spread on the terrace facing the river. Just seeing the river, we will sit there. By then a silvery peace rests on both land and water. Hardly any boats were about. The fringe of trees on the bank was reduced to a deep shadow, and the moonlight glimmered over the smooth flowing stream. So after sitting on the terrace facing the river, the entire place would be surrounded, marooned with silvery peace, serenity. It will be spread both on the land and water. There would not be any boats passing by. Hardly means rarely boats will pass by. The fringe of trees, among the trees on the bank was reduced to a deep shadow. So it will be surrounded with darkness, and the moonlight glimmered over the smooth flowing stream. The moonlight will be sparkling. It will be just glittering on the flowing stream, on the waters. The villa we were living in was known as Morgan's Garden. So he is giving the name of the villa. It was Morgan's Garden. The flight of stone flagged steps. The steps was nicely arranged with stones. The flight of stone flagged steps led up to the waters to a long, broad veranda which formed part of a house. So the stairs, the stone flagged stairs, took them to a broad veranda. The rooms were not regularly arranged, nor all on the same level. So it was not flat. Each room it was in different altitudes. And some had to reach by short flight of steps or stairs. The big sitting room overlooking the landing steps has stained glass windows with colored pictures. So the big sitting room, it was surrounded with stained glass, nice glass with colored pictures. So the entire place would be a very perfect one to enjoy the nature. One of the pictures was of a swing hanging from the branch, half hidden in dense foliage, and in the checkered light and shade of this bower, two persons were swinging, and there was another of a broad flight of steps leading into some castle-like palace, up and down which men and women in festive garb were going and coming. So again the poetic language comes in, plays in. one of the pictures depicted there. In one of the picture, it has been nicely given a swing, hanging swing from a branch, from a tree. Obviously, the swing should be hung in a branch of a tree. The dense foliage. Foliage, what do you mean by foliage? Plant leaves, the collection of plant leaves, the collective leaves, okay. And in the checkered light, the light was like a checkered thing, okay, checkered thing. And the shade of the bower. Bower means, what do you mean by bower? Bower means what? Yes, down you can see a pleasant shady place under trees. So full of shade under trees. So these people, they sit, they swing in the checkered light, and another flight of steps which is leading to the castle like palace, where a big palace it is leading, and some people in festive dressed clothes, they were going up and down in the steps. So it was a picture given in the stained glass. When the light fell on the windows, these pictures shone wonderfully. These pictures were shining wonderfully, seeming to fill the riverside atmosphere with holiday music. So along with the music, it was just looking like excellent music which has been played during the holidays, and people can enjoy that particular scene. Some far away, long forgotten relief seemed to be expressing itself in silent words of light. So something is being told in the silent atmosphere, silent words of light. Something has been told. What is it? The love thrills of the swinging couple, making alive with their eternal story the woodlands of the river bank. So as if these two people, those who are in the swing, their love thrills of the swinging couple, making them alive, the eternal story, the woodlands of the river bank. So as if the picture is getting life, he is telling. The topmost room of the house was in a round tower, so excellently built round tower with windows opening to every side, full of windows in all the directions. This I used as my room for writing poetry. So in there only he used to sit and write poetry, enjoying the beauty of the place, Chandranahur. Nothing could be seen from thence save the tops of the surrounding trees and the open sky. So from that place, a place or source previously, so that was the source for him to sit and write. That was a perfect place. It was surrounded by trees and the open sky. There was no other disturbance. I was then busy with evening songs, and of this room I wrote. So evening songs he used to hear in this atmosphere there, where in the breasts of limitless space clouds are laid to sleep. So in that on top he saw lot of space clouds are laid to sleep. They were as if sleeping, like they were still, they are not in motion, they are not moving. I built my house for you. So there he built the house. Oh poesy, he is telling. So it is a very nice, wonderful, beautiful, excellent words of Rabindranath Tagore. We would have enjoyed, we would have just saw the beauty in a better new perspective. So with this I finished this lesson, children. You read the lesson and try to enjoy the beauty of the lesson once again. Have a nice day. Thank you.